in the never-ending quest for retribution on so-called terrorists throughout the Middle East and Central Asia, the United States has droned civilians in Afghanistan, in Kabul, saying that they were trying to stop another attack like the one we saw earlier in the week, which was devastating and did kill 170 Afghans plus 13 or 15 U.S. servicemen and women, which is awful. But then in response, Biden's "we will hunt you down" with drone strikes. Yeah, see, the thing is, those drone strikes haven't gotten any more precise. And our intelligence about Afghanistan, which has been shit for 20 years, never got any better. So, of course, a family has died, civilians have died, and thus continues the cycle of creating more and more people around the world who hate Americans for ruining their communities, their nations, for using them as launching grounds for all kinds of ridiculous wars, and earning a hell of a killing, literally and figuratively, off of their suffering. And I think back to 9/11. I think back to when I was coming up and becoming politicized by a very moving group named 9/11 Families for a Peaceful Tomorrow. And their response to their family members being killed on 9/11 was, we don't want war. We don't want more bloodshed. Because when is it enough? When does it end, y'all? Like, when does it actually end? And are any, there's a lot of reporting coming out about this. A lot of that reporting is not leading with civilians have been killed. No, it's just leading with big, strong America seeks revenge on its own being killed. And that's it. Big, strong America, drone strikes. Never mind the fact that we never cover drone strikes when they kill innocent civilians. And we haven't over the last, 10 years, really, as this war has been a status quo of shit. That's one thing I'm bitching about. But the other thing that I think is really important, and I want to get through this real quickly, but for everyone to understand about the role of Trump and Obama in creating this mess that we're in now that we never talk about. Let's leave Obama aside for 1 second, and how ridiculous it was that we did the surge in 2009, 10, whatever. But let's talk about Trump. The media has been giving him an utter pass. They've been bludgeoning, it's all about Biden. Biden screwed up, Biden's withdrawal, but no one's talking about Trump. One of the foreign policy analysts that I've had on this show that I love, who I've followed for a very long time now, is Juan Cole. He's got a great blog called Informed Comment. He writes, he gathers the sort of the best Middle East experts, and so you definitely should read it. He's talking about Trump's role in this entire debacle, right? It would have been a debacle anyway. We know that. I've said that many times, but it actually was worse thanks to, no surprise, Donald Trump. And why? Why is that? Well, because one of the pieces of this is that ISIS-K, which is a form of ISIS, which is this ISIS in Afghanistan, many of them were actually imprisoned. And Trump negotiated a prisoner release of 5,000 prisoners against the will of the president of Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani, right? So this is Juan Cole writing. The Afghan National Army and U.S. troops defeated ISIS-K in 2019, capturing nearly 2,000 militants. Some of them appear to have been among the 5,000 prisoners the Trump administration forced the government of Ashraf Ghani to release last year as part of his February 2020 peace deal with the Taliban, which I explain here. So Trump's strong-arm tactics on Kabul may have helped ISIS-K reconstitute itself in a small way. I'm sure that the Taliban did not actually want those particular fighters released. This is where he goes into more of the ways that Trump forced this abrupt departure from Afghanistan in an article, 6 Ways Trump Forced an Abrupt Departure from Afghanistan. In the treaty, Trump promised to pull 8,500 troops out of the country in about 4.5 months. He pledged that the Afghanistan government of Ashraf Ghani would release 5,000 captured Taliban and al-Qaeda fighters. Ashraf Ghani at first resisted this provision, saying he was not party to the talks and thought it was a horrible idea. But under strong Trump pressure, Ghani let the fighters go by the following October. So not only is the Trump administration and the media allowing the Trump administration to get away with pretending like they were not on board with the withdrawal, they were not on board with allowing the Taliban to come back into power. Trump openly said that. But now they're rewriting exactly what happened and not being honest about the fact that, yes, some of these fighters, because ISIS-K is not that big. Some of these fighters were already in prison. And because Biden wanted to give the Taliban something, he was like, I don't know, let go of these 5,000 prisoners, even though the president of Afghanistan didn't want that. Let's actually remember and understand recent history. It's funny because the media does have like a Trump industrial complex. They love talking about him, except for when it comes to war. You know he was fucking up in Afghanistan too. Why not talk about it? But no one's talking about it. So, hats off to Juan Cole. Really appreciate his work, and maybe we can get him back on to discuss this more.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.